I'm done.
Okay, what is the 3-year-old's name? Caylee, Caylee.
The jury find the defendant not guilty.
In 2008, a tragic incident unfolded in Orlando, capturing the community's attention and sparking a media storm. On July 15, 2008, 2-year-old Caylee Anthony was reported missing, accompanied by the discovery of chloroform and signs of human decomposition in the trunk of Caylee Anthony's car. 5 months later, Caylee's skeletal remains were found in a wooded area less than 1/3 of a mile from the Anthony family home in Florida. Welcome back to our channel. Our love and respect goes out to all those who knew and loved Caylee Anthony.
Say hi, Mom. Say hi to Mom. It's a story full of twists, and 3 months into it, the heartbreaking question at its core remains. Alive or dead, where is Caylee Marie Anthony?
My granddaughter, she'll say Caylee Marie Anthony. Might not be Anthony. Oh, how old are you? I'm 2.5. She does that. I have Tinker and Chili. That's our 2 dogs. And we have a cat named Penny. She'll say Pepe. That is our granddaughter. I miss those little things as she did day in and day out with me. I miss that.
All I want is my granddaughter back. Come here. Come see Grammy. We live, breathe all day long. What are we going to do? And what are we going to do if we don't find her soon? Because all of our hearts are breaking every day.
Before moving on to full details of this agonizing case, let's go back to the time it all started. On July 15, 2008, Cindy Anthony, Casey's mother, contacted the police to report that her 2-year-old granddaughter, Caylee, had been missing for a month.
911, what's your emergency?
I called a little bit ago, the deputy sheriff. I found out my granddaughter has been taken. She has been missing for a month. We're talking about a 3-year-old little girl. My daughter finally admitted that the baby's in the store. I need to find her.
Your daughter admitted that the baby is where?
But the babysitter took her a month ago. My daughter's been looking for her. I told you my daughter was missing for a month. I just found her today, but I can't find my granddaughter. And she just admitted to me that she's been trying to find her herself. There's something wrong. I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car.
Okay, what is the 3-year-old's name?
Caylee, Caylee, Anthony.
Caylee Anthony?
Yes.
Who is Caylee Anthony? Caylee Anthony was a young girl born on August 9, 2005, in Orlando, Florida. Her mother, Caylee Anthony, was a single parent. Caylee's early years were marked by various family dynamics.
Say hi, Mom. Say hi to Mom.
Let's now go into who Caylee Anthony was. Caylee Anthony was born on March 19, 1986, in Warren, Ohio. She lived in Orlando, Florida, with her parents, George and Cindy Anthony. Before the tragic death of her daughter Caylee in 2008, Casey's life was relatively unremarkable. She worked various jobs and faced legal issues, including theft charges. Nevertheless, her notoriety skyrocketed following Caylee's disappearance. Returning to the narrative, as earlier said, Casey's story unfolded on June 16, 2008, when she left the Anthony family home in Florida in the company of her then 2-year-old daughter, Caylee. However, she remained absent for 31 days. It wasn't until July 15, 2008, precisely 30 days after Casey and Caylee left the family residence, that Cindy, Casey's mother, reported Caylee missing to the police. In a call to the dispatcher, Cindy expressed, "I found out that my granddaughter has been taken. She has been missing for a month." Her mother had finally admitted that she had been missing. Continuing with distress, she added, "There is something wrong. I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car." At that time, Casey claimed that she hadn't seen her daughter for a month, and she claimed her babysitter, Zenaida Zanny Fernandez Gonzalez, had kidnapped Caylee.
911, what's your emergency? Who has her? Do you have a name?
Her name is Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez.
Who is that? Babysitter?
She's been my nanny for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years.
Why are you calling now? Why didn't you call 31 days ago?
I've been looking for her and have gone through other resources to try to find her, which was stupid. I think the officers are here.
The officers are there?
Yes.
On July 16th, Caylee Anthony faced her initial arrest, just one day after her mother reported Caylee missing to the police. The charges brought against her included child neglect, providing false statements, and obstruction. These charges resulted from Casey's claim to the police that she had left Caylee at her babysitter Zanny's apartment and that she worked at Universal Studios. Both statements later revealed to be untrue. On July 22, 2008, the police declared Caylee Anthony a person of interest in the investigation concerning her daughter's disappearance. On October 14, 2008, a Florida grand jury indicted Caylee on first-degree murder charges related to Caylee's death, even though her body had not been found at that point. These charges carried the potential for a death sentence. On December 11, 2008, Caylee Anthony's skeletal remains were discovered near the Anthony family home more than 5 months after she was reported missing. Orange County meter reader Roy Kronk found the remains in a wooded area less than a mile away from the Anthony's residence in Florida. Kronk testified during Casey's murder trial, stating that in August 2008, 4 months before the discovery of Caylee's remains, he had seen a white object in the same location that he was 99.99% sure was a human skull. After reporting it to the police the next day, he met a deputy at the scene who, according to Kronk, berated him for wasting time. In December 2008, when Kronk revisited the area, he stumbled upon Caylee's remains, emphasizing on the stand, "I did not know what it was. I never lifted it off the ground. That was a very horrific thing for me to find, obviously." His testimony differed from previous depositions where he claimed the skull had fallen out of a bag he lifted 4 feet above the ground. On May 24, 2011, Casey's murder trial commenced in Orlando, Florida, lasting over 6 weeks. Led by Jose Baez, the defense argued that Caylee accidentally drowned in the family's pool, and George assisted Caylee in covering up the accidental death by burying the toddler in their backyard.
On behalf of the defense, I want to thank you for the sacrifice that you've made in your jury service and coming here and helping us see justice. We know it's no easy task, and we intend, I'm sure both sides, on getting you home as quickly as possible once you have all of the information that you need. Everyone wants to know what happened. How in the world can a mother wait 30 days before ever reporting her child missing? It's insane. It's bizarre. Something's just not right about that. Well, the answer is actually relatively simple. She never was missing. Caylee Anthony died on June 16, 2008, when she drowned in her family's swimming pool.
During the trial, Baez and Casey claimed several bombshell allegations, including the claim that Casey had been sexually abused and molested by her father, George, since childhood. Accusations that George vehemently denied when testifying on the stand. The prosecution, on the other hand, concentrated on Casey's numerous lies to her parents and the police, presenting substantial circumstantial evidence. This included incriminating Google searches found on the family's computer, such as queries like how to make chloroform and other related searches.
Not only were traces of chloroform found in the trunk of her car, but that her laptop computer showed she searched the internet.
For 31 days, she didn't report her daughter missing. I'm done.
Jeff Ashton, the state attorney for Orange and Osceola counties in Florida at that time, conveyed to the jury, "No one makes an accident look like murder."
This isn't just a case about Caylee Marie Anthony. It's a story about Caylee Anthony as well. Caylee Anthony was born on August 9th of 2005. It was a Tuesday. And Caylee lived nearly every day of her life on a quiet residential street in Orlando called Hope Spring Drive. Caylee Anthony, Caylee's mother, appeared to all outward observers to be what her parents thought she was. A loving mother working hard to provide support for her daughter. But as the evidence in this case and the investigation into the background of Caylee Anthony will show, that was an illusion. On Monday, June 16th, Cindy Anthony goes to work, as I've described, sometime between 7 and 8 a.m., and is out of the house until the late evening. George Anthony specifically recalls that at 12:50 p.m. on June 16th of 2008, his daughter Casey left the residence on Hope Spring Drive with Caylee Marie Anthony. Caylee was wearing a pink shirt, jean shorts, sunglasses, and a backpack. And George Anthony, kissed his granddaughter goodbye and never saw her again. In fact, no one but Caylee Anthony ever saw Caylee Marie Anthony alive again. The evidence in this case will establish that there is no other reason for the placement of multiple pieces of duct tape on this child's face, mouth, and nose other than the specific intent to end that child's life. No one but Caylee Anthony had access to all the pieces of evidence in this case. The duct tape, the laundry bag, the blanket, the shorts, the shirt, the car. No one else lied to their friends, to their family, to investigators. No one else benefited from the death of Caylee Marie Anthony. Caylee's death allowed Caylee Anthony to live the good life, at least for those 31 days.
On July 5, 2011, Caylee Anthony was acquitted of murder charges, but convicted on misdemeanor counts. The 12-person jury found her not guilty on all major charges, including first-degree murder, manslaughter, and child abuse. However, she was convicted on 4 counts of lying to the police. On July 7, 2011, following the conviction for lying to the police, Caylee Anthony was sentenced to 4 years in prison and a $4,000 fine by the jury. On July 17, 2011, Caylee Anthony was released from Florida's Orange County Jail just 10 days after her sentencing. Upon her release, she was met by hundreds of protesters expressing outrage over her acquittal, who had gathered outside. In 2016, Caylee Anthony took a step into entrepreneurship by launching her photography business, Case Photography. However, reports indicate that the venture had limited success, with very few projects completed. Contrary to the notion of financial independence, some sources suggested that Caylee was still residing in Florida in 2016 and receiving financial support from certain members of her legal team. Despite having enough funds for basic living, it was noted that her financial situation constrained her from engaging in more substantial activities. Painting a somewhat subdued picture, insiders revealed that Caylee's lifestyle resembled that of someone on a fixed income. They described her existence as somewhat ordinary, marked by boredom, a sentiment she reportedly expressed frequently. It seems that while she had the means to sustain her life, Caylee's circumstances limited her ability to pursue more dynamic endeavors. In March 2017, Caylee Anthony broke her silence for the first time since her acquittal through a series of interviews with the Associated Press. She maintained her stance, claiming that she did not know what happened to Caylee in the final moments of her life.
Your understanding, how did she die?
I don't know.
You don't know? Something about drowning, possibly.
Everyone else has their theories. I don't know.
Uh-huh. So your parents had her?
My dad did.
And next thing you know, she's missing, right? How did it play?
I did what I was told. I don't remember too much of what happened.
Caylee also stated in another interview that, "I don't give a shit about what anyone thinks about me, I never will. I'm okay with myself. I sleep pretty well at night." She further added, "I understand the reasons people feel about me. I understand why people have the opinions that they do. I'm still not even certain as I stand here today about what happened." The Anthony family was deeply affected by Caylee's tragic death and the subsequent murder trial of Caylee. In 2018, a decade after Caylee's disappearance, Caylee had severed communication with both her parents, and her interaction with her brother Lee was limited. George, in an appearance on Dr. Oz, disclosed that his relationship with Caylee was irreparably damaged, stating, "We're not connected anymore, and that hurts. I wish I could be part of her life, but I would never feel comfortable around her. I can't trust her." However, by 2019, George seemed to have softened his stance, expressing on Dr. Oz in October 2019 that he was ready to forgive his daughter. In December 2020, she initiated the process to establish her private investigation enterprise named Case Research and Consulting Services, LLC. Despite lacking a Florida private investigator's license, as state records revealed, Caylee, being a convicted felon, faced an obstacle in obtaining one. Undeterred by this setback, Caylee was determined to move forward. Although the company was still in its infancy, she had significant ambitions. Her goal was to extend support to individuals confronting serious legal charges. An insider revealed, in the very early stages, Caylee has big plans. Drawing from her personal experience of facing false accusations, she aspired to assist others, particularly women, who found themselves wrongfully accused. Caylee aimed to contribute to their pursuit of justice, driven by her understanding of the challenges associated with unfounded allegations. On November 2022, Caylee Anthony appears in the Peacock docuseries Caylee Anthony, Where the Truth Lies.
Now the latest explosive allegation to come from the first interview given by Caylee Anthony since her acquittal 11 years ago in her daughter Caylee's death. She is blaming her father for the death of her daughter.
There are more explosive revelations from the new docu-series about the notorious Caylee Anthony.
What do you think my question is going to be?
Why did I wait 31 days to call 911?
911, what's your emergency? My daughter's been missing for the last 31 days.
Once known as the most hated woman in America, Caylee Anthony is interviewed for a 3-part series on the Peacock streaming service.
I lied. But no one asked why.
During the trial, the complete 911 call was played for the jury.
Why didn't you call 31 days ago?
I've been looking for her and have gone through other resources to try to find her, which was stupid.
This additional clip ran on the Today Show.
The only person in this world that matters to me still is my daughter. But I'm still defending the fact that I didn't hurt her.
The new documentary is also generating headlines like this. Caylee Anthony blames her father for daughter Caylee's death. When contacted today by Inside Edition, George said, "I am in contact with an attorney. That's all I can say at this moment." He was tight-lipped when photographers approached him today.
Do you have any comment about your daughter's allegations?
George, have you got anything to say?
George Anthony previously has denied having anything to do with Caylee's death. Caylee Anthony, Where the Truth Lies, begins streaming on Peacock November 29.
As we all know, Caylee Anthony's statements about Caylee's disappearance have been inconsistent since 2008, ranging from a nanny abduction to an accidental drowning during her trial. However, in the 2022 docuseries, Caylee claimed her father, George, was solely responsible for Caylee's death. According to her account, on June 16, 2008, she felt unwell, went to lie down with Caylee, and was later awakened by George asking about Caylee's whereabouts. George allegedly found Caylee, blamed Caylee, and didn't attempt resuscitation. Caylee described George handing Caylee to her, stating it was her fault. Despite her collapsing with Caylee in her arms, George reportedly softened his tone, reassured her, and took Caylee away without calling 911. Caylee claimed she believed Caylee was alive over the next 31 days, following George's instructions. She also believed that George might have staged Caylee's drowning to cover up potential abuse, but admitted that she is not sure. George, denying abuse claims and never charged, expressed outrage at Caylee's allegations. Caylee admitted dishonesty to investigators in the documentary, stating, "I lied because that's what I was told to do." Caylee's claims about George in the 2022 docuseries left him outraged and appalled, according to a source close to the Anthony family. Another source close to the Anthony family shared that George maintains a strong exterior, but is torn up by the situation. Despite the strained relationship, George still harbors love for both his daughter and granddaughter, making the situation exceptionally challenging for him. In 2022, Alexandra Dean, the producer of Where the Truth Lies, revealed to BuzzFeed News that while Casey still does not speak to her father, she does have limited contact with her mother Cindy and brother Lee. Casey does talk to her mom and her brother, Dean said. She doesn't talk to them often, and I wouldn't call their relationship close, but they do communicate. On January 4th, 2024, which was over a year after Casey's bombshell allegations in the Peacock docuseries, her parents, George and Cindy, put their answers regarding their granddaughter's disappearance and death to the test. The couple participated in the A&E series Caylee Anthony's Parents, the lie detector test, which premiered on January 4th, 2024, where they took polygraph tests on camera. The lie detector test saw George answer questions on camera during a polygraph test for the first time. In one clip, he denied that he knew Caylee's whereabouts during the 6 months authorities were searching for his missing 2-year-old granddaughter.
George Anthony puts his credibility and reputation to the test, and for a few moments, it looks bleak.
Did you knowingly conceal Caylee's whereabouts?
No.
Okay, so you're struggling with that one a little bit. Tell me why.
Me is because I was so close to our house.
Yeah.
That she was found.
While the 72-year-old appears tripped up by questions surrounding any involvement in the concealment of Caylee Anthony's body and a 6-month window where the child's whereabouts were unknown.
Did I conceal her whereabouts? I did not know where she was at.
Okay, so why are you struggling with that? I'm happy to modify the question if I have to, but I need to know where you're struggling.
I did not know where Caylee was at.
The outcome of the lie detector test, ultimately revealing he was telling the truth.
Your results are you passed this test, George. In my professional opinion, you were truthful.
No doubt.
After one of the most polarizing cases in modern history,
We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty.
Caylee Anthony was acquitted by a jury of her daughter's 2008 death, though she was found guilty of lying to police. Years later, in a documentary for Peacock, which is owned by NBC News' parent company, she broke her silence, blaming it all on her dad.
Well, I was doing what I was told by my father.
Casey says her father abused her, and she suspects Caylee too, accusing him of murdering the child to cover it up. George Anthony has never been charged with a crime and has vehemently denied his daughter's accusations. But he did address those accusations on the lie detector.
Did you ever have sexual contact with Casey?
No.
Concluding a weight would be lifted with this interview.
I've gotten blamed for something I didn't do, and it tears me up inside.
In another clip, Cindy said that she believes that her daughter 100% knows what happened to Caylee. And I kept hoping upon hope that she would confess, continued Cindy, moments before having a panic attack. And that's the only reason I put myself through all of her drama and everything.
Know the truth.
Do you believe your daughter knows what happened?
Yes, I believe 100%. And I kept hoping upon hope that she would confess. And that's the only reason I've put myself through all of her drama and everything.
Absolutely correct.
Since June 16, 2008.
Reflecting on the numerous developments surrounding Caylee's tragic death, the recent polygraph test conducted by Casey's parents has cast dark shadows over Casey's docuseries. What are your thoughts on these unfolding events? Share your opinions in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for stopping by. See you in the next video.